Good evening, and thank you for joining me in another episode of King's Corner. I'm your host, Latif. I'm recording right here in the Sunshine State of Florida. I'm using the streaming app called StreamYard, and I've been using StreamYard for about close to 6 months or so, and it's definitely serving a purpose from what I want to do. Um, it might not be particular message. It's a message, and I want to just say a few words about how I'm feeling, uh, and maybe you know um, you might want to share some thoughts as well. So I'll begin by uh, just saying a little prayer, and that prayer is in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the most merciful. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who appeared in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I further bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is our grace and our reminder. And I further bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is our leader, teacher, and guide for me here in the wilderness of North America. And for those who are followers of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I thank you. For those of you who maybe not know who he is, um, he's one of the few that I would say takes on the necessary evils, if you will. But if you don't know who Mr. Farrakhan is, I would suggest and recommend you look him up, and you will have a new respect of what leadership is. Um, so, with that being said, I'm just going to jump right into it and just talk about for a few minutes what I want to say to you all. For those that find any benefit in what I'm saying, any something that you want to take away from it, by all means, do it. But I'm here, and we're going to get it started. So, um, a while ago, um, a brother who I know, he did a lecture, and the lecture was pertaining to the term of being grateful. And he mentioned when he wakes up in the morning, he prays and starts his day, and he's thankful for the little things, like being able to wake up in the morning, um, being able to touch his limbs, and being able to breathe, and being able to see and hear and use and have all of his five senses. And so he begins to talk about how some of us are very, you know, um, selfish in that way because we don't think about how good we have it. When others, um, maybe in this country or elsewhere in the world, don't have it so well. Don't have it so good. And so, as I begin to talk to different people and hear different things, I'm like, man, people are always going through stuff. It doesn't matter, where you are or what you're doing. People are always going through stuff, and sometimes people tend to complain a lot and never like take time to smell the coffee. So, with that being said, I'm like, man, now I have to do something a little different. When I wake up in the morning, it might not be every morning, but when I wake up in the morning, I'm just thankful. I'm thankful and I'm grateful, because we all go through trials. We all go through what we go through in life, and life is life can be challenging to say the least. People just go through a whole bunch of stuff, and so like I said, I'm grateful. So um, I began to just reassess the importance of why I'm here, right? So I started to connect with people and show them how much I care. Um, so I reached out to that same brother. The message that he gave was maybe 6 months to a year ago. And something sometimes maybe not, it doesn't resonate until later on, and then you realize, man, that was a very important lecture, a very important saying or quote or whatever. And so I reached out to the brother not too long ago, and I was like, listen, brother, I hadn't seen you in a while, and I just wanted to say thank you, and I wanted to say I miss you and all of this good stuff. So giving him accolades. If you were to know this brother, he's very humble, and you know, um, he was like, okay, well, thank you. We talked for a few minutes, and he said what he had to say, and I said what I had to say, and we left. The conversation feeling good about it. So then I called another brother and pretty much had the same conversation, right? I called the brother and I said, hey, listen, I haven't heard from you in a while. Let's how you been? How you doing? You know, he was going through some medical issues. He had to have some surgeries and things like that. And I'm like, man, I'm sorry that you're going through that sort of thing. I said, I hope that God takes you. I said, some things that inspire him. But he didn't initially he didn't know who I was when we first started talking because it's been so long since him and I had talked. And so we had to go through, remember when we was doing that? And he was like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. So that's how that picked back up. But I knew about him with his medical situation. So like I said, I called him and said, hey, listen, brother, I hope everything is well. I pray that God covers you down with whatever's going on with you, and I hope you have a full recovery. We said some other stuff, and that's how we begin to talk. And this brother too, I have a high respect for. So anyway, fast forward. I say all of that to say this. You know, sometimes we just have to be grateful for the little things, because if we're grateful for the little things, big things typically will come. Now, now that I got that out of the way, I want to share some other things with you. So there are a couple of things going on here in the area that I live in. By the way, I live in the land.